Tavarishi, I am Admiral Andre and welcome to the third and most likely the last episode of Race into Space. In the last episode we had more failures. Apart from Sputnik 1, I don't think we have had a single success. So let's see, it's 1963 already. We should have been on the Voskhod already, I think. So let's just see what's the next thing we can do. The Proton, we should definitely boost that. Let's just pay the maximum amount. Let's also just buy one. Then we also should buy another one of the Vostok capsules, although we could just do it through the launch facility. What else? Are we doing anything else at the moment? The boosters are ready. We still were working on the Cosmos. I think we can boost that a little as well. There we go. So what did we book for this season? Another manned orbital EVA mission. So with this one, I think primary Vostok R7, well, it'll just buy another R7. We don't need a Proton for this. And let's assign it and go for it. So this will go by May, and we can book something for the next season as well. What will that be now? Let's do another unmanned lunar flyby. There's always a chance that we'll succeed and we'll get a glimpse of the other side of the moon. So let's exit the administration and see what happens. Nothing else from the Americans. That's peculiar. I think they're also having a difficult time. Let's see. I'll skip this one. Come on, I'll skip it until we're in orbit. Okay, orbital insertion burn. At least we got further than last time. And orbital activities. Yes, at last our great comrade is in space and in orbit. Let's see if we can do an EVA. He does miraculously do an EVA, even though you really need two people, one inside the capsule and one outside. Glorious! And the deorbit burn is also a success. What's happening? Re-entry is a success. Now he just has to jump out of the capsule. And another success, so I can skip this. He's just going to land there. So at last we have changed the course of history. Baikovsky is a great and glorious hero. Our Orbital E mission has been a success, and we get the first spacewalk as well, and the second man orbital. So we're at least a first in something again.
Good evening. And now the news. Politburo member Volkovich sharply attacked the space program today. Speaking before the Supreme Soviet, he accused ministers of lavish spending and strongly urged funding cuts.
Traitor Volkovich!
This concludes our news broadcast.
Comrade, American spies are infesting the Soviet Union. Be on guard and report all traitors. Okay, now, next thing. Let's just look at the KGB again. They are now reporting codename Tentacle, which is the US purchased a new launch facility, so now we'll see a lot more missions from them. Let's just look at their stats again. They also have their second level, that's the Surveyor, Lunar Lander. Or is that something else? That's not the Lander, I think. Not sure. Because on the second level they shouldn't have a lander yet. Then, okay, they have no new rockets, and they have no new capsules, and they have nothing new there as well, at least that we know of. So let's just have a look. We still have our 15 megabucks. I think we'll stick with the launch of the lunar flyby. As soon as possible, though, we'll need to get another launch pad, I think. This victory that we've had now will also give us some more money in the next budget. So assign our glorious satellite and... what then? I think we should have another mission with this. Let's Let's just have a look with the EVA. Just to give somebody else the chance to get an experience in space. So we can see even Nikolaev is thinking of leaving us. Is anyone happy? Bondarenko is happy. But that's it. Let's take Baikovsky again. And then make Gagarin another backup. We have 11 left. What should that be for? We're not going to be able to open a new program with only 11. Can we pay? No, we can't. No, nothing we can do. Oh well, we'll just go ahead. Nothing from the US. I'll skip that. Okay, success. Another success, orbital insertion. Every time I click it moves to the next phase. Failure with the translunar injection. Wonderful. Payload suffers from a massive power drain. Payload is dead in space. More prestige lost. 1964.
Good evening. And now, the news. There has been a scientific breakthrough in a space project.
Proton!
This concludes our news broadcast.
You can see her, she looks now like the technology has moved ahead, so she's not in black and white anymore. Glorious Soviet automobile manufacturing has once again exceeded quotas. Wonderful. We can all drive crappy cars. I shouldn't say that anyway. Let's see, what next? We should work on the Voskhod capsule since we could launch it with a Proton. So let's purchase that and just pump as much money into it as possible. Then I think, well, what about the lunar probe? That's going to cost too much on this budget. Definitely not the N1. Okay, so we forget about the boosters right now. What about the Kicker A? What did they say about the Kicker A again? I can't remember. That's for the small capsules, the Voskhod, I think. 600. No, but what does it lift? This is the actual weight of the thing itself. It doesn't say what it can lift. I guess therefore it will work for the Voskhod. So let's buy the Kicker A. Instead of going with the extravagant N1, we should just try and leverage the technology that we have already. Then should we start to train more cosmonauts? It will cost 15 megabucks. You know, I think we should, because we're going to lose people soon, and it takes several turns to train new people. No woman yet. You'll see it would be a different color. Nope. Okay, so let's hire, oh dear, Janibekov, Lyakov, Popov, Kizim. Let's see, Leonov I think was the first person to do a spacewalk. Shatilov, yes, let's take him. Gubarev and Aksyonov. One more. Ryumin has an endurance of 4, which is fantastic, so he won't be likely to drop out. Let's see what happens. Okay, so next mission, we assemble the hardware here. We still have to purchase it, but that's okay. And assign the launch for May. That's fine. And book the next one, which will be what? Let's think. Another... Should we... I think we should actually try the lunar flyby. It's now -1. So we've lost the penalty there. Okay, do it. Almost missed that. Orbital insertion, fantastic. Another success on the EVA.
All is very good, comrade.
Glorious, comrade.
I see all skies. Beautiful, comrade.
Deorbit is a success. Re-entry. And landing. Wonderful. All green across the board. But we only get 1 prestige from that. So the real benefit of doing this again was just to get more, not really training, but just to make the people happy because they can fly. Women in space. We didn't get the option of women in space. So this time it's a total role reversal. The US leads in space. They even have a 2-person craft already. The Gemini. Or is it Gemini? I think it's Gemini. Anyway, so they lead and they have the first woman in space. But there they had a failure, but they apparently got through it. Okay, well.
Good evening.
No!
And now, the news. The space program has suffered a severe setback in one of its programs. Repairs will cost 20 MBs, or the capsule will lose 10% on its safety factor for its next mission.
10 MBs for the Voskhod program. No, 20 MBs, never mind. Comrade Khrushchev designates successors. Okay. We don't have 20, so we can't pay that, but we're not going to launch it yet anyway. We just can fix it next time. But for now, let's continue with just improving it. We already have the rocket ready. Then, what else? The kicker, we can put some more money into that. It's almost ready, actually. We might soon be able to do a lunar mission. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Could we now buy the things? No, we don't have the money for the Proton. We have to scrub the mission. Oh, well. Hopefully next time we can open up another launch pad. So let's just book something. Let me have some coffee while I just have a look through this. I think we should keep trying for the lunar flyby. Since we've pretty much maxed out what the Vostok can do, it can't do a dock either. So, that's it. Let's move forward.
Good evening. And
Evil capitalists!
an investigation has revealed that
Has
the evil
revealed.
capitalists have duped the KGB and some ministry officials with misinformation.
Traitors!
This concludes
Vostok is lowered by
I'm
6
Svetlana Izvestia.
thanks to evil capitalists. Nikolaev has retired, Popovich has retired, Komarov has announced retirement for health reasons, Bondarenko has announced retirement, relocation to Siberia was approved, Nelyubov has retired, so now everyone is leaving us. Soviet citizens celebrate the 20th anniversary of the glorious victory over Nazi Germany, and so it was a good thing that we actually got the second batch of cosmonauts into training. I guess I have to pay this now. Okay, we have 47. I'm gonna buy another launch pad. It costs 20, but it will give us a good option in the future. Alright, so now that's done. What do we have? Did we book a thing for this season? We did, and we just can buy that and assign it. And it can go for its mission. Okay, so now, what's next? I think, do we still have cosmonauts left? We still have a few flight crews. You see it's red there. He's almost gonna leave. Actually, yes, if the name is in black, they have announced their retirement, so they're leaving the next season. We could still use them now, but that will be the last time we could use them. Only one who hasn't resigned was Baikovsky and Gagarin. I think we should launch Gagarin now. Next time, anyway. Just for historical purposes. So let's take another EVA, or should we even bother? No, what we need is an endurance flight. That's the next step that we could still do with a Vostok. Duration here. 3 to 5 days. Actually, could we do it more? Just keep the rest. I just want more. Will that now actually take? No, just keep everything the same way and then just move that. There. Danger, no. If I just click there, it doesn't, the computer doesn't recognize it. So 3 to 5 days is the max that we could do with a Vostok safely. So let's send up Gagarin. There will be no EVA involved. And then Baikovsky can be the backup. Okay, that's going to be it. We could actually buy the rocket just now to make sure that we don't have the problem with money again. Now we know how much we have left to spend. So I think for this, let's spend the rest on fixing the Vostok problems that we had now this season. And that's it. Nothing more we can do now. So let's see if this lunar flyby succeeds. The US does duration level C and B and a manned docking. It's over for us. Let's just be honest. It's all over. Okay, that step succeeds. That one succeeds. Translunar injection. I'll just let this play for the first time here. Okay, I won't skip the rest. Mid-course correction burn. Okay, flyby. Yes, it works. Planetary activities, success. But you see by what margin we got it. Very, very thin margin. At least we were the first to get a lunar flyby. So, okay, speak.
Good evening. And now, the news. The Minister of Production announced today that the Voskhod program will cost an additional 2 MBs for each spacecraft. This concludes our news broadcast.
2 more for each. She said Voskhod. I've heard people say that as well before. I'm not sure if you say it Voskhod in Russian or Voskhod. I've heard that one as well. Anyway, in Cosmonaut news, Komarov has retired, but our other people have now graduated from basic training. So I think let's put them into the Voskhod program. So, should we train them more though? That could be a possibility, but I think for now, let's just send them to the Voskhod program. Now we get into the fun part. With each of the crews, you see, because we now have 2 personnel in every capsule, we'll see that they either get along with each other or they don't. Which is very realistic, I guess, but in real life people would surely put aside such things in the interest of professionalism. But if you put 2 people together here that don't like each other, they are more likely to resign from the space program. So let's just have a look. We could look at their skills here as well. Okay, capsule pilot and docking specialist. So we need someone with good CA and DO. So how do I say this? Janibekov, he is going to be our capsule pilot. And okay, he's green because he's alone. But now we have to see who can work with him. And this will be our LM pilot and EVA specialist. Although this won't be an LM. We're not landing the Voskhod on the moon. So let's try Popov. He likes Popov and Popov likes him. Great, so we have a successful match. Fantastic. Now we have to do it again. Docking. What about Lyakov? Okay, Lyakov, you're the pilot, and then he has a very good EVA skill. So let's assign Kazim. He likes Kazim, and Kazim likes him. This is very rare, let me tell you. EVA docking. He's got a very good capsule skill. But let's put Shatalov as the capsule commander, and then Leonov as the LM pilot. Yep, another successful match. That is almost unheard of. Let's see. Docking. No, not good docking. Let's put Aksionov as the pilot and then Gubarev as the Alem. No, you see that he doesn't like Gubarev and Gubarev doesn't like him. So I break the crew and let's put Aksionov back but use Ryumin this time. He doesn't like him and he doesn't like him. Break it again. Now we use the other two. Put Ryumin with Aksionov. Or did I now just do that? Break it, put him with Gubarev. Nope, nope, they just hate all of each other. So this is not going to be a successful crew. In any case, we can just put them together. They won't last long, but they will be available for a while. Now we have one person left, and I'm just going to assign him to the Vostok program. Otherwise, if he's not being used, he's going to leave as well. Put him into Flight Crew 2. Or what we could do actually is to take someone else away here. Let's take Baikovsky. Break his crew. Oh, he's already assigned. Continue. Yes, that's right. Well, in the next turn I'll break one of those out of their crews and then assign them with Ryumin on another Voskhod crew. So, let's just get this thing assigned and then get it to the November launch window. Now we have only 1 megabuck left anyway, so we can't do anything at all. Well, we could work on the Vostok, but we don't need to anymore. Can't even work on the Voskhod. Hey, we could do a little bit of research on the Kicker A. Okay, good. So let's assign a... Should we get the Voskhod on the next mission? I'm not sure it will succeed. You know it might. Okay, let's just assign it. Or actually, yes, let's just assign it and see if it's ready. If not, we can cancel it. So I'll take crew 1 as the primary and crew 2 as the backup. Then we will also assign another lunar flyby, or should we? We actually can get a Venus flyby and a Mercury flyby again. Let's do a Venus flyby. It's not strictly necessary, but it will give us prestige. So if the capsule is not going to be ready with more investment, we can just do the unmanned one. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's go. Just skip it again. I'm always afraid if I click on it, it's gonna jinx it somehow, but it's gonna fail if it's gonna fail. Success, that was a good one. Duration has failed. Something went wrong and they had to cut the mission short. Mission Control Forces duration attempt cut short due to warning system malfunction. At least hopefully he can get home safe. Barely. Okay, so is this Gagarin? I think yes. At least he went up to space now. Get us 1 more prestige.
Good evening. And now, the news. The Ministry of Science has announced that an additional duration mission E will be required before any lunar landings will be attempted.
So now we have to do that. I guess we could have skipped it before, but now they demand that before we do a landing on the moon, we must do a duration mission E. That's going to take a long time because even the Voskhod can't do that, I think. The Soviet Union will lend technical assistance to North Vietnam. So is that what you call it? Okay. Now, let's see. We've got some money again. For this one, we really should start thinking ahead. I don't want the Soyuz. I want the Lapot mini shuttle. It weighs less than the Soyuz. It also takes 3 crew and it actually is reusable. So I see no reason why not. It costs a great deal of money, of course. Much more than the Soyuz. Maybe that's a good reason why not. Although if it's a success, we can just use it again. Don't have to keep paying for new units. Although a new Soyuz, once we've researched it, only costs 12. A Lapot will cost 30. Still, I'm going to do it. There, we're working on the Lapot, so in this alternate history we're not doing the Soyuz. It weighs 1500 and our Proton can launch exactly 1500, so with the Kicker A attached to it, we might also be able to do a lunar flyby. Actually, could we book something like that now? Oh, I should have used that money also for the Voskhod. Okay, 66%. We're gonna risk it. So, purchase the Proton and then assign it, and then should we still do the Venus? No, we can't. It's too expensive, so cancel it. It's not necessary anyway. Then, let's just have a look at the future missions. If I say, well, let's just see what the options are. Joint lunar landing. Orbital LM unmanned, manned lunar pass. -14 though. What about an unmanned pass? Manned Earth orbital LM test. We don't have a lunar module yet. Docking. We can't afford the docking module. Docking EVA. Joint orbiting lab. Actually, all of this is impossible. We don't have the money for it, so just reset it. Let's just quit. How much do we have? Only 4, so I've really sabotaged us here now. Unless they magically grant us more money for the next mission. So I'll just do this as an unmanned one, I think. Mars flyby. Let's do a Mars flyby. So let's see. Is this going to work? We've assigned it already. I think we just have to get the date now. I definitely don't want a penalty, so this mission is dangerous enough. But let's see if the Voskhod works. Cross your fingers for our brave crew. At least the rocket lifts off because we've tested it many times already. Orbital insertion is a success, but you see much less of a success factor. Hey, orbital activities work. Can we just get back now? Yes, we can. I'm not gonna skip anything. I don't want to jinx it. Ah, it didn't matter anyway. They're gonna burn up in re-entry. There's the Voskhod. Zanibekov and Popov are both dead. The heat shield fails. Vehicle burns up and disintegrates in the upper atmosphere. That is totally my fault because I rushed the Voskhod development. But yes, I said in the beginning there will be many casualties. This is just the first of many. Now they do their great funeral procession there. So we lose 10 prestige. They're gonna fire me now.
Good evening. And now the news. The evil CIA has cleverly fooled the KGB and top scientists with false information. This concludes our news broadcast. I'm Svetlana.
But now, you say the evil CIA has fooled the KGB, but why does the KGB allow itself to be fooled so often? That's a bit ridiculous. Gagarin is retired, and then of course we had some casualties. The United States has raised tensions in the arms race by increasing the number of ICBMs and expanding conventional forces. Of course, the Soviet Union is completely innocent. So, what now? We have 4 megabucks and we can't do anything with it this turn. I think on this low point I'm going to leave this episode. It's almost half an hour now anyway. Then next time we can see if this thing can still be salvaged, though I'm not very convinced by it. So we suffered now on the Vostok. Unless we just leave the Vostok, don't put any more money in it. We don't want it anyway now. We want the Voskhod, but the Voskhod has now suffered an immense penalty. So it does suffer a penalty if there's a failure like that. Which makes sense. But yes, now we're set back. Unless we skip the Voskhod entirely. Let's continue working on the Laport. It will take a very long time and it's going to cost so much money. No, we can't. We need some prestige now. Okay, we're broke. On the next turn, I think we'll just book another if we can do a planetary flyby maybe. There's a Venus flyby now. Or a Saturn one, but that's going to take a long time. No, we haven't even been to Venus yet, so book a Venus flyby, so at least we've got something on the cards. Let's look at our employers. Hey, we had a bit of a rise there with a success, but then it's going back down again. They're a little impatient and expects greater achievements and glory. I'm sorry, comrades, I have failed you. Anyway, we'll see in the next episode. It's a really fast-paced game, and it's, the odds are always against you, but it's so interesting to me, and it really does get you in the mindset of the time, where you really have to balance the safety versus the actual launch date, because you want to beat the other side. Anyway, see you in the next episode, and thank you for watching. Glory to the Soviet Union!